All right, John McTavish from Exp. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
It's my pleasure, Lisa.
Awesome. Now, I wanted to get your opinion of EXP so far. How have you found it? Has it lived up to your expectations? How's it been?
Okay, well, as you know, I'm very new in the organisation, although it didn't take me long to join. I think it was 36 hours since I first spoke to Glenn that I was actually up and running.
Awesome.
And that probably tells a story. So getting all the paperwork out of the way and joining and getting my first listing up and under the EXP banner, I think I joined Friday night and my first listing went up on Monday morning.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is. I mean, I'm used to that because I run my own business and I do everything myself. But a lot of people understand this. When you start to give away parts of your business and you have other people doing it, you have all of these kind of anxiety attacks and, oh, are they going to get it right? Are they going to do this? Did they forget that? But the team that works behind me in EXP is just extraordinary. I've now had, we put 3 listings up in the last couple of weeks and we've sold 2 of those. One is actually settled. So even though it's small business, we've pretty well experienced most of the things, getting listing up, getting started, getting onboarded, understanding the system, advertising, getting into the portals, selling the property, using the trust account. I mean, that in itself is just amazing. I don't have to worry about trust accounts anymore. Somebody else does it all for me. I press the button to exchange contracts in Agent Box. And Agent Box comes free with the package as well. That was costing me about $300 odd a week previously. But when I pressed the button, I then thought, I better send these letters to the lawyers, but I didn't have to. Somebody did that for me, and the team were just amazing. So, and that cost $250 for all of the back end managing of a listing, all the way through to sale, exchange, settlement, disbursement of the trust account, and not to have to worry about doing an audit on your trust account or any of that sort of stuff. It's just amazing.
I know.
So I found that I've got the benefit of a tiny business, which is run completely by myself, and I make all the decisions, but I have this gigantic back end machine behind me now.
Isn't that awesome? And massive support. Yeah. That's incredible.
And
That's a really,
one of the things was interesting. I used my own listing agreement. So I listed a property, stuck it into Agent Box. A couple of minutes later, I got a call. Hey, just noticed you're using a different agency agreement. Have you seen this? Have you seen that? Are you aware of this? Just extraordinary. I mean, from a compliance point of view, that's very comforting.
Absolutely.
Because the laws are changing all the time, and you guys are on top of it, or EXP's on top of it, in a supportive way, which is really great.
How long have you been in real estate for?
That's part of 40 years.
Yeah, wow.
I started in Queensland, selling land subdivisions. You would get a buyer, throw them in the back of your car, race like hell back to the office, sign contracts on the back of the boot, shake hands, do all of that sort of stuff. And then, my last big job, I suppose, was running LJ Hooker in New Zealand. They sent me over there to get it started and off the ground. We had about 120 offices. And that's when I kind of felt the power of a big office behind me. But I get that same feeling now through EXP. And it's nice to know that there's those sort of resources there. And the other thing that I found also is that the back office changes almost instantaneously. If something new comes to mind, they're on it. It's not a case of, we don't handle that at the moment, or we don't support that, or we don't understand it, you'll have to wait. They just make decisions, get on with it, add extra resources if they need to. So just from a support and compliance point of view, I feel really, really comfortable with EXP. But that's not the
so
reason
cool.
I joined.
Okay. Well, I'll ask you that in a minute. But what would you say? Like, I've been in real estate for, I think, 30 years. You've been in it for 40 years. What would you say to the veterans like us about doing this new business model? You know, if they're saying, "Oh, the traditional business model, it's not broken. Why would I try and reinvent the wheel? Why would I try and fix it? It's not broken. I'm happy with what I'm doing." What would you say to them?
Okay. Well, just to background my experience, I've been a national systems trainer with LJ Hooker, a regional manager, a general manager of a country. I've trained people in the US and in India. In 2014, we spent quite a lot of time in India setting up new systems and organizations. And I've probably physically been in at least 1,000 offices.
Wow.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah,
Never.
that gave me goosebumps.
And
Yeah.
I've helped lots of people. I mean, I was the representative of Compensation Master for a while now. Compensation Master are a company which is very, very high tech. They concentrate solely on remuneration schemes for real estate companies. They were heavily involved with Keller Williams and all of the very, very big companies over there, people with 170,000 agents. So if you're 0.1% off in your remuneration, it's millions of dollars. It may even be the difference between profit and loss. So the reason I'm rambling a bit there is that I've seen just about every office model and every compensation model there is. And one of the best that I copied quite a lot came from Barfoot and Thompson in Auckland.
Yes.
At the time, they had 60 offices in Auckland and about 35% market share of a major city in the world. Every office was company owned, extraordinarily successful business. And each of their managers, each of their office managers had a share of the business that they ran, plus a profit share. And that was great, but it still didn't have the scope of the EXP offering. And I think what EXP have done is Keller Williams has been the biggest and extraordinarily successful over a long period of time. A lot of people still swear by that, but they've just tweaked their remuneration model and the way they treat the individual. So when you join EXP, you get this feeling that you're the focus of everybody, that it's all there, that if you have a complaint about anything, even if it was a major way they did their business, somebody would listen to you and plug it into the system and something would happen. Yes. The people very, very high up the chain that I've been able to talk to in EXP world. The difference between this model and anything else, I was saying that I've physically been in over 1,000 offices, and I've seen just about every different remuneration system there is on the planet, right from the Remax model, which is an extraordinarily good model if you follow it properly. But if you decide to just vary it one tiny little bit, you get into a lot of trouble.
Yes.
I mean, I've been approached over the years by all of the Amways, all of those multi-level marketing companies, and I've been excited by some of those because of the enormous potential. But where I just couldn't get over was selling overpriced toilet paper to somebody, or trying to gather all your friends and relatives into a circle that nobody could get out of again because you'd lose your income.
Yes.
And somebody has brought that extraordinary financial opportunity to what I do.
Yes,
I mean,
that's how I feel. Yes.
And I don't have to do anything different. Nobody's going to tell me how to do it or what to do or when to do it. I do my business exactly the same way as I've already done it. I can care about my people as much as I like. I can charge as little or as much. But that extraordinary financial opportunity is... I didn't tell you, I've already got 2 lots of share purchases behind me now.
Yes.
We've got 2 sales in the last couple of weeks, and already I'm a shareholder in EXP. I said to somebody the other
day, I said, you know what, the shares are over $30 now. And they looked at me like I was an idiot and said, no, they're 50.
Yeah, 52, I think now. Yeah, they went up to 60 and yeah. So
yes.
no, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I've been around, I've been on a lot of continents, and I've seen people who do this remuneration for a living. There's compensation master guys in South Carolina. They're just geniuses. But I see all of that.
Yes.
In EXP. I see an understanding of our business and how to plug into it. And I was watching a YouTube video the other day where there's a guy in 8 figures now, 8-figure income, just from the growth of the people in his line.
Yes.
That's just amazing. I mean, I'm 74 this year, so I'm not a chicken, and I wouldn't have changed. Well, I wouldn't have thought I would have changed what I was doing for anything.
Yes.
But I think I can do, in the next 2 years, I think I can do as much for my family as I've done in the rest of my life.
Wow, that's incredible. The opportunities.
You know?
That's amazing.
Yes.
So why did you join EXP? What was the real massive deciding factor?
Have you seen the 10-minute video that Glenn does?
No, I've seen.
So he's rung me up and said, Macca, I'm so excited about this. I want to send you something. So I said, oh, okay, send it. So he's sent it down. And he made a little aside. He said, you won't remember 10 years ago, you and I doing a CD. But at the end of that CD, he said, if ever the opportunity comes up, I want to get into business with you. And here it is. I had totally forgotten about that. I went back and listened to the CD, and there he is saying. So he sent me this 10-minute link. And basically it said, we're in an age of disintermediation, which is exemplified by what's happened to the taxi industry, what's happened to the video rental industry. I mean, even if you think about the Swiss watch industry, in the early 60s, the Switzerland had about 60 or 70,000 watchmakers, and a couple of guys went to them and said, look, we've got this quartz crystal. We think it'll revolutionize the way you make watches. And they said, bugger off. That's not how you make a watch. You make it with, all of this. Probably 5 years later, they had 10,000 of the finest watchmakers in the world. I mean, they lost 80% of their workforce and 80% of the manufacturing capacity based on one tiny little piece of technology. Yeah. I mean, you only have to look at the turn of the last century. There were 30 million farmers in America, and all of America's farm now is done maybe with 5% of that. So technology has the ability to completely change the game, and that's what we've just seen. We've seen I mean, I did a survey with LJ Hooker in 1999. 75% of my franchise owners said the internet would not change the way they do business one bit.
Yeah, right. Bit. Yes.
And where we introduced the LJ Hooker system to them, Graham Cook sacked 20. Well, he didn't sack them; they just left because they wouldn't take up the technology. We lost 20 offices because they said, "Oh no, that's never going to be the way we'll do business." He was such a forward thinker and a visionary. He could see where we were going, and he just didn't worry about them. Yeah. But that's what we're seeing now. When Glenn had a slide in there about Netflix, if you knew what was going to happen to Netflix, and
Blockbuster, yeah.
With Blockbuster, I mean, so I think we can, in Australia, we have the ability and the great fortune to be able to see into the future. And it doesn't cost us anything. All we have to do is have a look at the US and see what's happening now, and we can project ourselves 5 to 10 years into the future. Yes. How long's EXP been going in the US now?
2014, 2015. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. If we'd been watching very closely, we will see that that's our future, or our present was happening back then.
Absolutely.
And so we look to that. There's no, I mean, there's nothing that I can. There's no negative that I can put into this. When I look at the growth, what are we, over 30,000 agents now in the US? 38,000 agents in the US in that period of time. It's a faster growth rate than Keller Williams. It's based on that particular model, but it's got things that are better in it. And the mathematics of it, which is, I love spreadsheets, but the mathematics of this is just perfect. It can't go wrong.
No, exactly.
So, and the other thing I like about it, and I'm maybe a little slow getting my team up and running, but something stuck in my mind that Glenn said to me, and he said that just invite people on your team that you want to work with.
Yes.
That you like and enjoy being around, because life's too short to have, idiots and grumpy people around you. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm very, very, started talks with a really top guy in India.
Awesome. Fantastic.
A friend of mine and I were in India in 2014. So about the time EXP was starting in the States, we were over in India setting up a heap of stuff. And this guy's got access to about 2,500 agents.
Wow.
And he's highly respected in the country. And he's looking at this now, and his mouth's open. He's just saying, oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's incredible. See the contacts that you've made. Yeah. Perfect.
Yes. All that time running around, being away from the family, it starts to pay dividends. But no, look, I like it because I don't know if you can be super relaxed and super professional at the same time, but that's just kind of how it feels,
Wow. You know what? That's what I've said. Everybody that I've interviewed so far that's joined EXP, I've noticed that about them, that they look super relaxed. And I've commented to quite a few of them. If you look at some of the interviews, I've said to them, you just look so relaxed, and they've all gone, I just am. I don't have the stress of running the business of staff, of trust accounting, of, the overheads, all that sort of stuff. They look younger. And happier. I was
talking to a young guy the other day. He told me he wanted to start his own business, and I said, well, what's stopping you? He said, look, it's a lot of those overheads that roll on, even when you don't have. He said, I'll start with no listings if I do, and he said, I can't afford REA, let alone domain, and then a CRM, and then even RP data would be a problem for me.
Yes.
I said, well, how about if I give you all those for nothing?
Exactly.
It's kind of like that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. For a very, very low cost.
Work out of your home, pay a couple of $100 a month, and get everything that you need to run a business. And it's not just also ran products. Every single product I've seen from EXP is top of the tree.
Yeah. Absolutely. So did you look at any other models, or was it just a spur of the moment thing that Glenn messaged you and you changed?
I've looked at every model. Okay. Every model that's ever been out, I've looked at it and pretty much discarded it straight away. I'm not necessarily looking at it for me or for me to make. I mean, I had no intention of changing what I was doing. Yes, I'm a lazy bugger. I work a couple of days a week. I sell properties in the complex that I live in. And I'm happy as. So the least amount of work as possible. But I just looked at this and I thought, this is insane.
Yes.
Everything I've ever suggested to everybody is encapsulated in this package without any of the pitfalls and problems that I've seen. You don't have to finance it. You don't need any sort of money at all. You just need to know what you're damn well doing in real estate, and it's done. Finished. Shut the gate.
That's so cool. All right. So for those that are considering joining EXP, maybe like us, the veterans in real estate, what would you say to them? The ones that are still used to the four walls, the traditional business model, the staff, the overheads,
I think it's now possible for anybody to find somebody who's closely connected with the XP. I mean, there's yourself, there's me, there's Glenn. I mean, these names don't fall out of trees, you know, they haven't just happened. So I would suggest that they talk to you, talk to me, talk to somebody, and we'll run a list of names past them. They'll find somebody in there that they know and trust, somebody who's been a mentor to them, somebody who's been close, and they can talk to that person. They don't have to listen to people that they don't know. I mean, I would talk to a new person, they wouldn't know me from a bar of soap, but I talk to some of my old coaching clients and some of the people that I've rescued over the years or been of help to. They listen. They think, oh, okay, I know John, I trust him. So that's what I'd suggest. Just hunt around in the pile of names that are building very, very rapidly, and find one that you know that you can trust, and do that. Otherwise, you know, just get onto YouTube and try and find a video that convinces you not to do it. I actually...
True.
It's so hard. Well, that's mostly what I did. When Glenn sent me his video, I looked at it and I thought, okay, I'm in. And then I thought, no, that's pretty stupid, McTavish. You can't make a decision that quickly. You haven't done any research. And because you make those decisions based on the person who's presented it to you. So as far as I'm concerned, he's not only a genius, but he cares more than most people I've ever known about other people. Anyway, so I thought, okay, Google, YouTube, here we go. Maybe I watched 30 videos. Some of them were over an hour long. Couldn't find a hole. I couldn't find a hole in the thing. So I just, you know, went to the website, stuck my name in there. And then I guess I realized I'd made the right decision when the back office staff like Courtney and Kirsten started to reach out and talk to me, and it was just easy.
Yes, I agree. Oh, you're a big asset to EXP, and I'm really glad that you're part of it. And so for anybody that wants to join your team, you're happy to talk to them and
absolutely.
With your wealth of experience and knowledge in the real estate industry, anybody would be lucky to have you. Thank you so much, John.
Thanks.
Thanks.